Well, I guess at some point I'm going to have to tap out, because the Montreal Canadiens fanbase has been eagerly waiting for this video, and at the same time, I've been eagerly waiting to make it, so let's go out there and talk about these prospects again. This is What Happened, the mini-series, I should say instead, where we take a look at previous NHL entry drafts and we discuss what the NBC broadcast crew said these players would compare to heading into the next few years. We talked already about how NBC compared Jack Hughes to Steve Yzerman and Patrick Kane, Capo Caco to Jonathan Huberdeau, Philip Zadina to David Pastrnak, Barrett Hayton to Patrice Bergeron, etc., etc. But we're going back over to the 2019 NHL Draft and talking about the guy taken after Hughes and Caco in somewhat of a surprising pick. He was initially a Chicago Blackhawks guy, but he recently got traded over to the Montreal Canadiens, and you don't even need me to say anything more. You know exactly who we're talking about here. It's Kirby Dach, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's talk today about Kirby Dach, where he has gone ever since being drafted, and what the actual comparison picture was like in 2019 when he was taken third overall by the Hawks. So, going over to Kirby Dach and his current profile, Dach is a 21-year-old, 6'4", 196-pound right-handed center, and he is currently, at the time of recording this audio, because I'm recording it on Friday, July 15th at 4:21 p.m. in the afternoon, unsigned. He doesn't have a contract with the Canadiens. Kent Hughes is going to have to get on that and sign it quickly, but we know it's probably going to happen because the Canadiens shelled out significant assets, and he is a restricted free agent, so it's not really like he has the opportunity to leave. Either way, though, Kirby Dach is a player that was drafted third overall by the Chicago Blackhawks in the 2019 NHL Entry Draft, and if you take a look at the scouting report from 2019, there are many, many good things about this player. He is, according to Elite Prospects, a two-way center with exceptional hockey sense. Dach is also a highly skilled playmaker who sees openings that most players don't. Despite his large stature, he is surprisingly shifty and equipped with fine hands and creativity. EP Rinkside, back from 2019, said, "The capability of burying the shoulder and driving to the net to find twine with 2 or 3 defenders dangling off of him is there." HockeyProspect.com says that he's a very coordinated kid with his wrists, and he can make unique dangles given his length and skill level. Future Considerations wrote, "Displaying incredible vision and passing ability, Kirby Dach works well in tight around the net with very soft hands." McKean's Hockey said he is a general on the ice, and he has the ability to slow the game down and take it over. ISS has a report as well from 2017, so 2 years before the guy was even drafted. A great combination of size, strength, and puck skills. He has an offense-first mentality, soft hands, good puck pursuit, and a quick stick. Now, these are all really good traits for a guy that is really big and a really nice playmaker as well. That was kind of what put him on the map back in 2018-19, was the fact that his overall progression as a playmaker scorer was so strong. Now, he had 73 points in 62 games played, which is not bad in the slightest, but there was a period in Kirby Dach's draft season where he actually went, I think he only had like a few points in the span of a month or two. There was a really bad drought of points that Kirby Dach exhibited around the new year, and a lot of people, myself included, were kind of saying, okay, maybe that's going to tank his draft stock a little bit, maybe it's not. I mean, the guy was really good for Team Canada at the U17s earlier in the 2017 summer period, and seeing what he did at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, 7 points in 5 games for Team Canada, that was definitely really good as well. So he started the year off hot with this projection of being just an absolute game-changing caliber center, but the drought that he had in the middle of the year pushed him down draft rankings in the eyes of many people. He finished off the season ranked 8th by Elite Prospects, 11th by ISS, 7th by Future Considerations, 4th by McKean's, and 5th by TSN and Bob McKenzie. So this guy wasn't even ranked to go top 3 by any of the main scouting outlets, but he went top 3 to Chicago, to a team that was needing a number 1 caliber center to head into the long-term future. A lot of people, myself included, thought they'd be taking Alex Turcotte because he was a guy that could have gone as high as 3rd overall, and he was from the Chicago area. It just made too much sense to me and a lot of other people to say, hey, it's going to be Turcotte to Chicago at 3. But Kirby Dach went instead, and it was immediate to see the direction the Chicago Blackhawks wanted to take this player. And if you go over to the NBC draft program, you can see that Kirby Dach was compared to somebody that is very similar when you talk about the description of how they play, and it's a name that was being thrown around there the entire season heading up to the 2019 draft. NBC had Kirby Dach compared to Ryan Getzlaf. Again, big shout out to Gurulus for posting the NBC screenshots on Twitter here for a little walk down memory lane. But Ryan Getzlaf was indeed the player comparison here, and I just wanted to take some time to go over him and his profile as well. Ryan Getzlaf right now is retired. He's 37 years old. He had just retired after playing his last season in the NHL. 6'3", 227 as a right-handed center. Ryan Getzlaf was drafted 19th overall by the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim back in 2003. And you can see that based off the profile, he actually didn't make the NHL right away. He spent 2 more years marinating in the junior system for the Calgary Hitmen, getting 75 points in 49 games and 54 points in 51 games the next season. He had 2 straight years of no NHL hockey, which is something that Kirby Dach actually has over Getzlaf if you want to do the one-to-one comparison. Kirby Dach had 2 seasons after his draft year in the Chicago Blackhawks system. In his draft plus 2 year, he had 10 points in 18 games, which was actually really good for a guy that missed out on a good chunk of the year because he got injured at the World Juniors. But heading over to Ryan Getzlaf's 3rd year, so his draft plus 3 year after getting selected by Anaheim, he finally made the team. And in 57 games played, Ryan Getzlaf, as a 20-year-old, had 39 points. Now, he turned 21 in the middle of that season because his birthday is in May, but Kirby Dach, his 20-year-old season definitely was not in the same territory. He had 70 games played with the Blackhawks, 9 goals, 17 assists for 26 total points. So even though Kirby Dach has the experience against Ryan Getzlaf, if you're taking a look at year 1 versus year 1, year 2 versus year 2, etc., Ryan Getzlaf's NHL debut year was a lot better than Kirby Dach's draft plus 3 season. And a lot of people would go out there and cite many different issues as to what happened with the coaching, Chicago opportunities. Is it really Dach himself that hasn't shown up and he still has that ceiling of being good, or does he not have that ceiling anymore? It's really a mixed bag of reactions to Kirby Dach and the way that he has played, which is why when he got sent over to the Montreal Canadiens, or not him per se, but the rights to signing him got sent over to the Canadiens for the 13th overall pick and an extra pick later on in the draft, a lot of Canadiens fans were kind of saying, okay, why did we get this guy? He is just a bust. Like, 3rd overall, he's not producing. He only had 26 points in 70 games as a 21-year-old. Why do we get this guy, Kent? And then you had the other people, like me, that are still seeing that Kirby Dach was a very similar player to Ryan Getzlaf, a big, powerful center, fluid skating, exceptional passing ability, and soft hands. Ryan Getzlaf became one of the best playmakers in the entire NHL. By the late 2000s, he maxed out at 91 points in a year, 66 assists. In 08-09, 2 seasons after the Ducks won the Stanley Cup, Ryan Getzlaf aged like fine wine, and even last season he had 37 points in 56 games played as the Ducks captain. He'd been the captain for a decade plus. And so, getting as many points as Ryan Getzlaf did, being such an elite playmaker like Ryan Getzlaf was, his leadership as well was touted as a very good part of his personality and game. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill for Kirby Dach if he wants to even come close to accomplishing what Ryan Getzlaf did as a member of the Ducks. Now, just for comparison's sake, Kirby Dach is going to be entering his Draft Plus 4 season with the Montreal Canadiens. He'll be hopefully playing 82 games. If you take a look at Ryan Getzlaf's Draft Plus 4, so 4 years after getting drafted in 2003, you can see that his Draft Plus 4 year had 58 points in 82 games played, 25 goals, 33 assists. He won the Stanley Cup that year as well, so there you go. If you're still on the train that Kirby Dach can potentially be a Ryan Getzlaf-like player, it would probably do Dach a lot better to match that sort of point production in his Draft Plus 4 year as a top 6 center for the Montreal Canadiens, playing with, Josh Anderson, Brendan Gallagher, Mike Hoffman on his wings, because as long as he can get that playmaking touch up, he can set these guys up like crazy to score some goals, and I think there really would be a nice little push in the right direction for Kirby Dach in his career. It just really depends on how it goes, right? But for me, 58 points in 82 games played seems to be the landmark here. Can Kirby Dach hit it? I mean, he was on pace for over half a point a game, in 2020-2021 when he got injured, but who really knows? It's a new team, new system, new coach. We'll see how he does. Talk in the comments all your thoughts about Kirby Dach and the comparison made to Ryan Getzlaf back in the day. Do you still think that comparison has a chance of coming true? I think I'm on the more pessimistic side of things, but I think it's more like 51-49 in my opinion. Like, I still really want to believe in Kirby Dach because his passing ability, his creativity offensively is so unique that you don't ever want to see a talent like that go to waste, right? So talk in the comments all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this Juraj 9, and bye.